Hi, I'm Steven from Brewers Supply, and I invented the Unibrau brew system. Today, what I want to talk to you about is the differences between the 240 volt and the 120 volt system, and which system is for you. So, the Unibrau brew system is, in my mind, the world's most modular brewing system, which we invented all the way back in 2017. So it's been 4 years since we've come out with our Kickstarter project. We were the first ones to market with it. Now there's been a couple of imitations and some systems that have come out since our system, but I think we're leading in the forefront with all the different accessories that we offer. Now, one of the big pluses of the Unibrau system is it's designed to work in 120 volts or in 240 volts. And you can add or subtract as many accessories as you want. You can build it absolutely your way. Now, what I have in front of me, this is the 240 volt system with the Easy Boil controller. And with the 240 volt system, the biggest thing that you need to know, or the biggest thing that you need to know that you need to have, is a 30 amp outlet. Now this isn't gonna work for everybody, but this is a 30 amp dryer plug, and our system absolutely needs that. You need to have 30 amps of power in order to brew with 240 volts. Now, the advantages of brewing with 240 volts are you get much more power. You're able to use a 5500 watt element inside, which is what we provide with the brewing system. And it's going to speed up your brewing day considerably. Now the ramp times with the 5500 watt element and like 6 gallons of water is around 5.5 degrees a minute. Now I'm just going off the top of my head, but in my experience and I've done 100 batches here on the Unibrau system, I can assure you that you're going to get a much faster brew day. Now with the 120 volt system, we designed this system to be just more flexible. Now with the 120 volt system, what it has is a standard 15 amp plug. So this is going to plug into any outlet in North America. And while it does the exact same thing as a 240 volt system, it's going to do it much slower. One thing that I can say is with the 120 volt system, if you're going to be brewing a 5 or 6 gallon batch, it's going to take a lot longer to get to boil, and sometimes it doesn't even register at boiling temperature. Now that is absolutely what you can expect when you're maximizing a 120 volt circuit. This isn't the fault of the brewing system. This is essentially an obstacle that we have to overcome if we live in an apartment and we know we don't have a 30 amp circuit available to us. So we make do. We made you the best system that we could possibly make by offering you 120 volts. Now the 120 volt element is a much smaller element. You can see here it's 1650 watts. The great thing about the Unibrau brew system, if you are going to buy it in 120 volts, is we offer an element upgrade kit. Now I have a link, you can check it out below for the 120 volt element upgrade kit. And we have a video on how it's used and why you would want it. But the 120 volt element upgrade kit brings the power total to 3300 watts. And what that means is if you do have another 15 amp circuit in your kitchen that is running off a separate breaker, which is almost likely, entirely likely, it's very unlikely that you wouldn't have a secondary place to plug it in, you can get your brewing system up to 3300 watts. And at 3300 watts, that's a lot of power, and it becomes a much more quick and efficient brewing system, really comparable to the 240 volts. So which one should you choose? Well, I would say almost exclusively, where's your power and how close are you to water? Just having a 30 amp circuit isn't going to be enough. You want to have a close water source nearby because you're using a chiller in order to chill when you're finished boiling. If you have a 30 amp power outlet and you do have access to water nearby, 240 volts is unequivocally the best way to go. However, you might not have that, and in most circumstances, if you're living in an apartment, you won't. And if you want the most flexible system where you can brew almost anywhere, you can choose the 120 volt system. And if you're so inclined and you do have another circuit, you can get another element and get the element upgrade kit. One more thing that I do want to say is the systems are interchangeable. Now, you can purchase the 240 volt system, and you may be in a situation in the future where you're not able to brew in 240 anymore and you can only brew with 120 volts. Well, in that case, all you have to do is buy the 120 volt controller and buy the 120 volt element and power cord, and you now have a 120 volt system. And the same goes if you've been brewing with the 120 volt system and you want to upgrade to 240. All it's going to take is the 240 volt element and controller, and you're good to go. So I hope that answers some questions, and I hope that this video was useful to you. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, share, comment below, and also I really appreciate it when you comment and tell me what kind of videos you want to see. It helps us make great content for this channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next video.